Yeah. It's like approaching summertime or whatever. So okay, that was shade. But I do these videos without a shirt on. I'm in nothing more than my Pampers. I like calling them I don't like calling them Pampers, but I was like, maybe calling them Pampers is cute because it's like I like to pamper. That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell. But I'm being honest and forthright. I'm being forthright with people. I wear, not always, but I did today because I was going out, and when I go out to acupuncture and anything outside of the house, I wear my Pampers just in case I have to urinate and am unable to make it to a bathroom. Anyway, golly, I forgot what this in video is entitled. Old Enough for Desperation. That's it. So, I was on oh my god, I haven't been on OK Cupid in a very long time. But I still have the app on my phone. Yeah. But I was on Plenty of Fish, POF. And I was doing that thing because everything now is a swipe thing. Everything is a swipe. So I was doing my swiping like when I had just a couple of minutes. And I think that contributes to this swipe left, swipe right world because people don't have a lot of time. So it just comes down to swipe left, swipe right. Because that's why I hopped on right quick to take a look and do a couple of swipes, boom, 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 and then be done. And it it it's like making time without making time for dating. Honestly, though, like, up. Mm, okay, so I'll go into the old enough for desperation thing because I was like, I was swiping and I came across somebody who was 30. Now, back in the day, dudes who classified themselves as 30 would actually be like my age, 39. I'm 39 today, you all. But yes, 39. And they'd be like, "Well, I'm in my 30s." And it's like, "Okay, well, that's true." And this is the last year of my 30s, y'all. But happy birthday to me anyway. I'm not a birthday dude. But it's so crazy, last time I did the video about porn, and I actually have an old video of Guess Who? T Malone was playing in my other screen. But oh well. But as far as the 30-year-old dude, I was like, but is he old enough for desperation? For desperation. And he might be. He might be. And again, that's why I really am like 30 plus is where I am. Um I have 1 year in the 20s at this point that I'll that might be acceptable. But 30 plus, you know. And I playfully refer to it as desperation. It has been marketed by some as seriousness. And that's my that's what I'm interested in because I'm like one of the dudes that I hit up, and I used to be so afraid to say anything that remotely resembled this, particularly in my 20s. And hopefully, based on my limited knowledge of you young, older Gen Zers, gay Gen Zers, gay grown Gen Zers are seeming to be more inclined to be like, I'm with this guy and I see myself marrying him. And Gen Zers are at the oldest, I think it's 24 right now. But that's right on par with what we are supposed to do. I'm not gonna lie, I think that us early 80s babies kind of missed that, but we we marked progress toward where we are today. And I don't think it's too late for us. Um, Nevertheless, as far as my video, I do think it's time for us to be serious about what we're doing because we can do it now. Yes, we can. Okay. So if we're the marrying type and I am the marriage type, I am. Now I am. It took me, I remember one of the women at my church, she and her wife married, and they had a name change ceremony or something. My church is cool like that. My church is cool like that. Okay, Oakland's Presbyterian. Um, but I remember saying to the woman, I was like, wow, you really inspire me because for the longest time, oh, for the longest time, I was afraid of the idea of changing my last name because I was afraid that it would make it too obvious that I was gay. And it's like, huh. And that's interesting because what I just thought about is the fact that as my experience as a gay man has been that I'm often, not always, but often not clockable, if you will. And I think because of that, like people tell me all the time that they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gay. I just thought you were nerdy and corny." It's like, okay, whatever. But I realized in the changing the name department, I was like, or hyphenating my name, it would make it obvious that I am gay, and that would put an end to me being able to slide under the radar as somebody who can pass for I'm not going to question him or both. Okay, and but when she had that name change ceremony, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. If that's what me and my husband so desire. And I'm speaking it, y'all. I'm speaking him. A gorgeous chocolate black man. And I, when we kiss, I can't even think of the song. But when my husband and I joined forces and he if we just however we just and that's the beauty of it because however we decide to adjust our names with marriage, that's our decision. Now I'm not gonna lie, I do like my last name. I do like my last name, and in relation to having my last name, I hey it's all about you. Hey, yeah. Hey. Oh, right. Oh, right. Oh, right. So, in relation to having my last name, I do like my last name and I do want to keep my last name. I upon marrying a gorgeous Nigerian or Kenyan or Ghanaian man, I would very much welcome his last name into me. And I would be, I've seen, and this was so cool because, and I've mentioned this before, but one of the head guys at my church, he hyphenates his last name, and I'm like, oh, he must be gay like me, but he's not. It's just that he and his wife choose to hyphenate their last names exactly the same way. So if my husband and I decide to hyphenate our last names exactly the same way, then that's what it is. It's whatever we decide. Um, but as far as the old enough for desperation, according to Kevin Samuels, you're in the danger zone, and he makes a joke about that. But you're in the danger zone after the age of 26. I think such things apply a little differently to the gay community just because of what we've been through. But for example, the average age of a woman, a heterosexual woman to get married is 22. It's still 22. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Because like even the other day, I was like, well, I wonder when Pink got married because I'm sure she's rocking the marriage in the 30s like me. Speaking of it, but I looked it up and no, Pink was married in her 20s, in her mid 20s. And it's like, wow, okay, all right, I know that's right, Pink. And men, heterosexual men, the average age is 20, late 20s. Women, it's early 20s, men, it's late 20s in the hetero world. And, but of course, there are always exceptions to every rule, right? Somebody always has to win the lottery. And in addition to that, there are, e- 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 huh, okay, I'll say I know heterosexual people who've gotten married for the first time in their 30s. And it is what it is, you know? And they live a happy, healthy love life. Okay. Um, as far as lesbian women, the average age for a lesbian woman to get married is 36. Okay. Right now. And the average age for a gay man to get married is 46. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. But as I always say when I discuss these numbers, because I'm a numbers guy, I work for a company in charge of ratings. So I care about numbers and I love crunching numbers. And but my theory is that those average ages for gay and lesbians will come down and get to a point that it averages with heterosexuals, um, because we have a lot of older gay people who've like been connected with their partners for decades, and it's like now they can finally get married, so they're getting married, and that's bringing up the gay average age. Anyway, um, well, I I'm not gonna do that thing that it's like I need to be married before I turn 40, you know? If it happens, it happens. You know? I'm not gonna put the pressure on it like, oh, I've got to I love that song by Ari Lennox. Ari Lennox? See, and see, talking about Ari Lennox makes me think of Annie Lennox. Okay, so it's Ari. I don't know. I'm sorry. I love that song "Pressure" by Ari. Okay, and okay, since I'm already past 15 minutes, hey Google, play "Pressure" by Ari. All right, so I that was ridiculous, but it looks like I'm back. So thank you. So as I was saying, and I'm definitely not going to do that again, but it is Ari Lennox. Her song was Pressure. Um, but as I was attempting to state, I'm not going to put that pressure on myself to be like, oh, I've got to be married before I'm 40. You know, at this point, it's months away, and the months are 12 months away, but it's months away, you know. So I'm not gonna do that. What I like to be, I'm not gonna do that either. I'm going to old enough for desperation. At this point, I'm old enough that it's like I'm not gonna put that kind of timeline on myself, but listening to Kevin Samuels talk about, well, die alone. Buy a cat, buy a dog, die alone, bitch. And it's like, but you know, and this is something I just thought about. How okay, I can. He talks about people dying alone. Like, if you get married, that automatically means that you will die in the hands of your partner. And that's not necessarily true. It can be true, and perhaps it can be more true than somebody who's not married. And this is another ironic thing. It's my understanding Kevin Samuels, who was not married at that point, I think he might have been divorced or something, but he did pass away in the arms of his lover, you know, and she was holding him when he passed away. So it shows that, and that there are married people who might not have that experience either, you know? And I'm not going to go into all of that, but how many minutes? 19. Ah, yeah, old enough for desperation. I'm not desperate, but I am more ready than I've ever been. And oh, I was gonna okay, so it'll be 20 something. But I hit up this one dude, and on his profile, he said something about looking for something serious. And I was like, I am too. And I threw in the M word, marriage. And before, I used to be like afraid to bring that up to somebody. I remember this dude in Baltimore. Because I back when I used to live there, I did have on my profile that I was looking for a husband. And he hit me up and he was like, let's do the husband thing. And that scared me. And I don't think that alone scared me, though. I think he talked about something else that had me like, But see, and maybe this wouldn't have been the case. Man, I don't want somebody who is going to be in a situation that they're sponging off of me. I'm not spongeable. I'll put it like that. Don't sponge off me. Oh, you know what? I can do this on my page and talk about what we talked about. Okay, and maybe I'll start making that a thing at the end of the week. But okay, because I didn't tell you all. So I'll play this video.
You're constantly analyzing
everything.
Yeah.
And it's tiring. And it's even more tiring for the people around you. And my wife finally gave me an ultimatum and said, I can't do this anymore.
When was that?
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And she goes, I can't do this anymore. I said, I don't know what to do. She goes, you need to go get help. And if you don't, then I'm out. And that was the strongest ultimatum I ever got. I'm on the Howard Stern show, and he had, I think it was the guy from Puppetry of the Penis, and he leaves the room, and he grabs the door, and he opens the door, and I go, oh my God, his penis is all over the door, and I couldn't hear a thing. I was just marking every spot that I had my escape route. And at the end of my interview, he said, thanks, good night. And I went to the door and I said, can somebody open the door? I have something called obsessive compulsive disorder. If you don't open the door for me, you're going to have to call 911 because I'm not going to make it. That all got broadcast. Yep. I thought I was in a commercial. Holy shit. I just broadcast to the nation that I'm mentally ill. I can't cope with this kind of humiliation and pain, and I just got to end it. And somebody comes up to me and he goes, are you Howie Mandel? And I said, yes. Weren't you just on Howard Stern? And I said, yeah. He goes, I have the same issues. So cool to hear you mention it. And that kind of like woke me up and snapped me out of it.
Okay. So what I'm going to share with you all is that, and I talked about it on #VerseTV in perhaps more detail. Maybe I'll do more detail on #VerseTV and just give overviews here in addition to my smut talk. I don't know. But I have dealt with OCD myself. Truly. And it's not one of those situations like, because a lot of times people will like playfully call other things like OCD, but like I really dealt with OCD. And it wasn't me like having to tap things with a partner. It was me having to tap things with myself. And long story short, I was doing all of that because I was like, well, if I do these things and win these times and avoid the number 6 and keep doing, because the number 6 is evil when it's times 3 and blah, blah, blah. and if I do this, then it will help my family live forever. So I've got to keep on doing my OCD thing. I didn't classify it as OCD. I didn't know what it was. But I just thought whatever I was doing good and helping. And at the end of the day, my mom passed away when I was 22 years old. And my grandmother passed away when I was about 25. And it's like my maternal grandmother, my mom and my maternal grandmother both passed away before I was 25. And it's like I've been doing all of this OCD stuff and winning all of my challenges because that's what they were. They were challenges. And I was like, I've been winning all of my challenges. I thought that it would keep them alive forever. So, lesson to the hashtag VersTV family and my family out here watching, OCD is not the answer. Tapping things X number of times and avoiding X other numbers and stuff like that is not the answer. It's not. Anyway, but yeah, old enough for desperation. Yeah, that's my kind of guy. I don't know. I just want. I don't want to say I want somebody who doesn't play games because it's like, what is play games? I'm gonna Kevin Samuels myself. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? So I don't want to say I don't want somebody who plays games. I will say that I do want somebody who is marriage minded and serious about us working together to make our romance, our romantic lives work. And as I said in a previous video that I've since made private, but that was for another reason. But I want my husband and I to raise a family of kids, of human kids. I get it. Animals are kid-like as well, and that's a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, 30 minutes, I guess. Although I had that long break in between, so I don't know what that's gonna do. But yeah, I want somebody who's serious-minded about me and loving me as I serious-minded about him and loving him, and us raising and loving our family, our kids, and all of that. I am that guy. Because I talked about in the last video about one of my exes who is heterosexual. He's homosexual. He is not fully out, but as I explained in that video, whoever watched it, I understood his reasoning, his professional reasoning, but part of what he was saying is he's like, I don't want to. He said that he did not want to associate himself with the gay community because the gay community is not about raising families and bettering the community through raising families. He said that the gay community seems to be very self-focused, self-centered, self-centric. And he's like, I want nothing to do with that. That's not what it's about for me. For me, it's about partnering and raising family. And that's part of what attracted me to him, because I was like, yes. And he did say that he would I feel like somebody calling it Kevin Samuels. But he did say that in spite of his opinion on the gay community, he would get married and he would want to raise a family. Anyway, but with his husband, okay? Anyway, yeah, that's that's what I want. I ain't getting any younger, although it's so funny because I when I did the video about Devin and Levin, I talked about how I told Devin when I turned 30 and he was 31 and he just turned 40. Time flies. And I told Devin that when I just turned 30, I was like, well, I ain't getting any younger. You ain't getting any younger either. Let's do it. And now I'm 39 and I'm like, well, I ain't getting I'm still not getting any younger. What do you know? But that is what it is. I would like to believe that I'm the marrying type. I'm a good dude. Be patient with me. Be patient. And this whole video was talking about needing somebody who's desperate enough to go quickly. But be patient with me in terms of learning how to love you right. Because I know sometimes my jokes are off color, and my jokes can be as a part of my personality. My jokes can sometimes come off in a negative manner to somebody, and like, just be patient with me. I do not want to have to change who I am. That's not the kind of marriage I'm looking for. But please understand that I would never, ever want to hurt the man I am with. Ever. Anyway, I need to respond to some of these messages. I'll talk to y'all later, social media family. Peace, tea. See you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for Weekend Tea on hashtag VersTeav. VersTeav at VersTeav. All right. See you at 1 p.m. All right.